Hey fellow book lovers, welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline. For today's video, I'm going to be going over a few of the books that I have picked out for this year's Maassive Readathon. If you don't know what that is, or if you do want to find out more, feel free to check out last week's video. We talk all about it, and our website is listed in the description box down below. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I've said this before, probably to a painful extent, but I am a mood reader. I do not enjoy following a TBR. So that is one of the really nice things about this year's readathon, is because it's a map. You can go wherever you want. You can skip different places, you can bypass prompts, you can do whatever you want. We have set it up to where there are really no rules at all. So that has certainly made it easy for me. So I've come up with several different options for each prompt. There are a few that I haven't gotten around to yet, but for the most part, I am trying to give myself as many varieties and options as possible, and it might still change throughout the month of June because unpredictability, I guess. So I need to go to the bookstore because I kind of want to see what I can find, stock up, try and find some new ideas. So let's do that first. Let's go to the bookstore and then we'll come back and we'll talk about these books. Okay, I am back from the bookstore. We got a lot of books. Also, this bag is book page designs, and I love it because it has a long strap, and then little ones, and there's a snap, and then a zipper. It's just the best bag ever. But let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna go through the books that I got today, as well as some of the ones that I already have, all of their prompts. Also, we just got a kitten, so if you can hear her playing around in the background, I am very sorry. And another heads up, so the way that the readathon works, we have, oh, here she is. Hello. You wanna sit up here? Okay. So the way that the readathon works, we have location prompts, as well as we have hidden a few characters throughout the map. And you can collect characters by reading the books that fit their prompts, as well as reading the prompt for the location. So by the time that you end the readathon, you will have a found family on paper. We also hope that you make a found family through the community that we've set up, especially through Discord, so definitely check that out. So this will be like spoilers for the characters that we have hidden throughout the map. So if you have not already gone and looked at our website and seen the map and gone through all of the prompts, just a little heads up, some of them are really funny and we had a really great time coming up with them. So you might want to go do that real fast. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, so because I'm gonna start with the books that I got today, I am not gonna go in any particular order. I have not planned out my path yet. I have not figured out where I'm going to start. Genuinely, the way that my brain worked was read the prompt, fit a book to the prompt, then figure it out later. So that's kind of the path that we're going. These are all books that I've been wanting to read for a long time. They've been on my TBR, whether or not they were physically already on my shelves or not. So I'm excited to hopefully get to tackle some books that have been on my TBR for a while. So the first one that I got was These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a 1920s Romeo and Juliet retelling, but it's set in Shanghai and just sounds so incredibly cool. So it's two warring gangs in Shanghai, and I've heard incredible things about it, and yet I have never found my way to reading it. So this is going to fit into my Rune Mountains prompt for star-crossed lovers, and I cannot wait. So this next book is one that I am really, really excited about. Particularly because I feel like every time I see it, one, the cover's stunning. And then two, I've only heard not just like, yeah, it was good, but like exceptional things about this book. So I cannot wait. And it is Ray Bear by Jordan Ifuko. Ooh, it sounds so cool. So essentially our main character has always been in want of a family, and she has the opportunity to go to the palace to compete to be on the Crown Princess Council of 11. However, the woman who raised her, who is known as the Lady, has made it to where if our main character gets chosen, she has to kill the crown prince. So it kind of sounds like there's some found family situations going on here, especially because our main character's main desire is to have a family. So I'm really, really hoping that we see some found family tropes in here. I also am a sucker for a competition. So I just think that that sounds incredible. The nice thing about this book is, again, hoping for the found family, so I need to ask around. If it is found family, then this can fit into my Orange prompt for read a book with found family. And if it is not, I can fit it into the Rifthold prompt for read a book with diverse representation. So either way, cannot wait to read this one. So the next book fits under the Belhaven prompt of read a book based on mythology, and that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Ten. Just take a moment. Stunning! This book sounds incredible. It's based off of Chinese mythology, and one of the things that I really like about just the blurb that I have read is that it's a girl wanting to save her mother. And I feel like we don't see that very often, so I'm really, really excited to see the way that this works. Basically, our main character lives on the moon after her mother was exiled for stealing an immortality elixir. So she's grown up on the moon, and all of a sudden she has to leave her home, leaving her mother behind. And as she travels to this other kingdom, she gets to experience new things and learn and train, but she always wants to go back to be able to save her mother. So then she sets out on this journey in order to do so, and I love it. I love it. So I think it's going to be stunning and beautiful, and I'm excited to learn more about Chinese mythology. So whether this fits in the Belhaven prompt or the Rifthold prompt, or maybe even another one, it's again one that I hope I can get to immediately in June. Again, speaking of Belhaven, this is one that I bought today, and it is read a book based off of mythology. And I picked up this book, however, you might need to correct me on my pronunciation, so I apologize, but I picked up Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I've been fascinated by the story of the Minotaur for a very long time, and I love that we are getting to see the story. However, it is from the point of view of a female. And I think oftentimes we miss out on the female points of views in mythology. We're so wrapped up in seeing what the hero thinks and feels and experiences that we miss the female's perspective. So I'm really, really excited about this one. Just from the blurb, it also sounds like she is a very devoted sister. So I think that will also fit the Benjali prompt, which is read a book about protective siblings. So this one could fit in multiple. Speaking of that Benjali prompt of read a book with a protective sibling, we have Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. First off, again, I love this cover. I think it's beautiful. I think the Fairy Loot edition, it's glow in the dark, which I think is really, really, really cool. I have seen this one around a little bit, and several of our patrons have read it and absolutely adored it and says it's so cool, sounds so fun. So this one I definitely think fits the protective older sibling trope. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of Caravel, which I think is really fun because it's about this hotel that every night at midnight changes locations, and the main character and her little sister go to work for the hotel, and they find out that there's a lot of mysterious and sinister things that are going on, and they try and stop it. However, something happens to the little sister, so our main character is working hard not just to save her sister, but to also save the hotel from the sinister evil. So I've heard amazing things. It's really beautiful, has absolutely captured my interest, and I think it could be a lot of fun. This one could also fit for the Stone Marshes prompt, which is read a book with a lock or key on the cover or in the title, because there is a key. right here. So that one could fit multiple prompts as well. Okay, so this next one I'm really excited about because I don't really think I've seen this one anywhere. But as I was at Barnes & Noble, I had this list in my mind and on my phone, and I was just trying to find books that could fit the prompts that I felt like I didn't already have good books for, or that they were just straight up empty. And I had been stumped on the Morath prompt of read a book with a skull on the cover. I have a bunch of books to recommend that have skulls on the cover, but I've already read them. And I was looking around my office, could not find any on my shelves. And as I was about to check out, I look and I was like, that's a beautiful cover. Read the back and I was like, ooh, that sounds really cool. But then I was like, oh, well, I don't really think it fits any prompts. And then I saw that it had a skull on the cover. So I'm very excited. But this is The City of Dusk by Tara Sim. So basically it's about this city where the gods have withdrawn their favor and the four heirs are not willing to stand by and allow that to happen. So they become reluctant allies in order to save the city. I just can't get over how beautiful and intriguing the cover is. It's also really soft, which I do think adds, it's kind of like velvety, which I do think adds a little bit to it. Also, I'm kind of wondering if there's gonna be like maybe found family. Reluctant allies kind of screams found family to me. So we'll see, but I think it looks really good. Okay, so this next one that I picked up today, sounds so cool. The main character sounds like such an incredible badass. And it is Iron Widow by Jiren Zhao. Yo! This book just sounds really cool. So basically, from what I can gather from the blurb, it's about pilots who will take females as their co-pilot, but use up all their power. So these girls essentially sacrifice themselves in order to fuel whatever they're piloting. I could be wrong, but that is how I read this. And our main character's sister was taken to be this concubine, this female co-pilot, and she died. So our main character wanted to avenge her death, and as she did, she realized that she was incredibly powerful. And she was more powerful than the male counterparts who were the main pilots. So now that she's realized that she's incredibly powerful, they've paired her up with a pilot who's also kind of known as the powerful, reckless, you can't really control him type, and they are just like unparalleled. And now she's able to take the time to figure out why the pilot system relies so heavily on destroying girls with the hopes and attempts of dismantling the system. So she sounds like just this really strong, capable kind of main character, a very like Aelin or Nesta, kind of like they're willing to fight back, they're not gonna take it, and it just sounds so cool. So cool! So I can't wait to read it. So for the Anniel prompt, which is read a short book, which I think is really funny. Originally, I was going to look for some poetry, and I still might do that. However, I did not take the time to go to the poetry section today, and I also don't know where to start. So if you have any recommendations, please leave a comment down below because I would love to hear what some of your favorite poetry is. However, I did see this as one of the recommendations on our 2022 Maassive Readathon book recommendations form. So if you're having a hard time finding books to fit your prompts, definitely go check out that spreadsheet. It's wonderful and has been super helpful for me. But I saw this one and I was like, yes, it is finally time to read this book, and I am so excited. And it is Neil Gaiman's Stardust. I haven't seen the movie, I haven't read the book, I don't know what's wrong with me, clearly something, but it's just so little and it looks so cute. From what I know, it is about a boy who's in love with a girl and decides to jump over the wall to chase down a fallen star, and he encounters a whole new world and everything's turned up on its head, and it just sounds like the cutest, most whimsical, wonderful, exciting, almost kind of like Narnia-esque style book. I could be completely wrong, but I cannot wait. So I definitely think I'm going to read this one during June, because it just like it needs to happen, and it's so short. It's not going to take very long. And then maybe I'll watch the movie too. I don't know. We'll see. But like, come on. So cute. So the next book that I got is one that I don't think I would have prioritized outside of the readathon. However, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what prompt I'm gonna put it under. I currently have it under Parent, which the prompt is read a book that reminds you of your favorite musician. And it's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have not read anything by her, but I hear that it's just like a masterpiece, that every single one of her books are just absolutely incredible. I think I'm a little bit nervous about the hype. I'm very nervous about the hype, but I want to give it a shot. And I'm kind of like categorizing it with how I feel about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I didn't love. And so I'm like very nervous to read this one. However, I feel like I need to. So I feel like the readathon is the perfect way to do it. So this reminds me, and I could be again completely off, but it does remind me of Taylor Swift's song, The Last Great American Dynasty. Just vibes, you know? However, I love Taylor Swift, but I also have a lot of other musicians that I really love and books that I'm kind of associating with them. However, I don't have my hands on them yet. So this might change. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen, but I bought it today, so I now own it. The last book that I got, and I've been saving it for last because it makes me so happy. I will say I'm slightly disappointed that it's not one of the absolutely massive ones. However, that was not an option today. I only had 2 options. They were the same size. I am slightly bummed. However, maybe it'll make it easier. Maybe that's cheating. I don't know. It will definitely fit on my shelf better, which is nice. Okay, I'm gonna get to it. This is the prompt for Vaughn. And it is Read a Where's Waldo book. That was Allie's idea, and I have not stopped laughing about it since she came up with it. So I got this travel collection of Where's Waldo, and don't worry, it'll still be hard, but the pages also like flip out and have the list of like what you're looking for, and you can check them off. So I think that's super fun. But yeah, I can't. The prompt is just so funny. So anyway, that's what I got today for my Vaughn book. I can't wait. If I stumble across a bigger version of Where's Waldo, maybe I'll get that one too, but I am kind of excited about this one, so it's gonna be good. So we didn't mention this in our announcement video last week. However, I am so excited about this because this is one of my favorite things that we do each month with our patrons, and it is our monthly book buddy read, which is for our Bryce level patrons. And just like last year, we are going to open it up to absolutely everyone. So anyone who wants to participate in this book buddy read can. Anyone who is doing the readathon, you are more than welcome to join. And last year at that time with our patrons, we were making a monthly vlog of reading the book and then sharing it with everyone. And we have since changed it to monthly Zoom dates at the end of the month. We're trying to do it where it fits everyone's time zone the very best that we can, but it is so much fun because we get to see everyone's face. Everyone can participate if they want to. They can share their thoughts, their likes, their dislikes on the book, so you're not just having to listen to Allie or myself. You actually get to have other people's point of views and perspectives as well. But the book that we chose, which fits the Rowan prompt, and it is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. Again, this book is stunning. I don't know what it is about the books being so beautiful this go around, but absolutely beautiful. This book sounds so sweet because it sounds like it's a girl who just loves her brother and wants to save the woman that he loves. So every single month, a maiden is sacrificed to the sea to appease the sea god, and her brother's love is the one that is chosen for that month. So she takes her place instead so that her brother can be with the woman that he loves, and she goes underneath the sea, but what she finds is very different than what they believed up on land. So she's trying to save the sea and her village and her family, and it just sounds beautiful and so lyrical and wonderful. So this is our monthly book buddy read. We will have a Zoom date. Everyone is welcome to join. We cannot wait to have you. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. So this will be a book that we will all be reading together, and the Zoom will be at the very end of the month. So you have the entire month of June to read this book and then chat about it with everyone. So I cannot wait to read this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I know that this is not every single prompt that we have, as well as every book that I have chosen for every single prompt. However, I think this video is quite longer than I was expecting it to be. So throughout the month of June, I will be including the different books that I have selected for the different prompts. We will be putting it over on our Instagram, which is the Bibliovertpodcast, as well as here on our YouTube channel. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and maybe subscribing to our channel. We would love to have you. And I mentioned this a couple of times, but we do have a Patreon and it is so much fun. So if you are interested in checking it out, the link is down below. But that is it for this video. We are so excited for this year's Maassive Readathon. We hope that you enjoy it and that you join us for the entire month of June as all roads lead to Terracin. But we hope you have a fantastic day, happy reading, and we will see you next time.